This is the In-N-Out Double Double Burger. And this is how you make it at home.
Big thanks to Napoleon Grills for sponsoring this episode.
One of my favorite lunch recipes is burgers. My kids love it, my wife loves it, I love it, and I especially enjoy making burgers that are already iconic, like the In-N-Out Double Double. Locally here we don't have an In-N-Out burger restaurant, so if I want to make a double double, I have to do it myself. First we're going to do all of the preparation, which means we're going to start with the sauce. Now there's a lot of debate online of what the perfect recipe for the sauce is, but here's a good version of it. I'm going to start with half a cup of mayonnaise. Now I love the Dutch mayonnaise and that's why I'm using Saanse mayonnaise. To that I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of ketchup, half a tablespoon of dried onion granulate, 1.5 tablespoons of finely minced dill pickles, and if you're Dutch you're using kerstbeken and chop it real fine. A teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of white vinegar, half a teaspoon of yellow mustard, a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika powder, and a pinch of salt. You're gonna mix it all up and then always do a taste test, just because you can. Nice and sweet. Definitely tastes good. Have you ever heard about sauces? Sausages. Have you ever heard about sauces developing their flavor? What is going on? You made the sauce. However, you need to give it a little bit of time. That's why we make it first. So while we're preparing the rest, the sauce will develop its flavor and taste even better. Now it's just loose things mixed together, but it will become one and it will be even better. So while we wait, let's look at our veggies. This is a tomato. In the Netherlands we call this a meat tomato. And that means it's not meant to be the juiciest tomato. It means it has to have a lot of flesh for you to eat. Let's take a look inside what that looks like. I want a 1/4 inch thick slices tomato, which means half a finger, and for everybody else's, if it's about half a finger, it's about 2 fingers is about an inch in my case, but I'm getting off track here. All right, so a decent slice of tomato. Now look, this is super meaty. It means there's no juices dripping, it's not falling apart, it's a real bite. And that's the slices that I'm looking for. The center slices are going to be the best. The cap, well, it's something you can just snack on while you wait. And then maybe you can have another slice out of this. But for our size tomatoes, it's typically going to be 3 slices. I actually like how this is not super powerful in flavor. It's just like raw tomatoes, super powerful in flavor. On a burger bun, it's just going to overpower things a little bit. Maybe even more important than being specific about the tomato is being specific about the onion. This is a French onion. It is a sweet onion. It's not like the regular onion. Well, yeah, there's not a lot of difference, but it's just a little bit darker in color, the regular onion. But if you bite into a regular onion raw, well, let's just say you're going to be sorry. If you bite into a sweet onion raw, you're going to have a lot of fun. It tastes good, it's refreshing. And that's why you can have a thick slice of onion with a sweet onion, a French onion, and not with a regular onion. Now where I get them, these are not the biggest, which is actually a shame because you rather have these the same size that your tomato is, because then it's going to perfectly line up with the tomato, the burger bun and the burger patty. However, I'll have to make do. That's why it's homemade. And again, I'm taking a 1/4 inch or half a finger thick, and I'm going to peel off the dry outside. And don't worry about that dry outside too much. You can actually eat it. It's just a part of the onion that's dried out. Doesn't mean it tastes bad or different or worse or whatever. It's a good piece of onion. The last vegetable that goes on this burger is iceberg lettuce. This is a nice, strong and crispy lettuce. And it's really nice and crackling, but we just want to use the green part. The way that you do is that you're going to take a couple of these, prepare them ahead of time, which means breaking off the white stuff. That's a little bit extra crunchy and bitter, but we're going to put this in our preparation tray, eat the rest, and then I'm just going to slice the buns. Now, you can make your own buns. And I have a recipe for making burger buns. However, I have some great buns from the store, which are absolutely fantastic for this recipe. I'm going to use those. Now to make the burger patty, I selected this beautiful chuck steak. Why do I choose chuck steak for my burger patties? Because of the amount of intramuscular fat that sits in the chuck, which makes up for a ratio of 80% meat and 20% fat. And where there's fat, there's flavor, and in this case, juicy burgers. Of course, you can just order this at your butcher. He will grind the meat up for you or have some already prepared. However, if you make them yourself, they're going to be so much better. I'm going to cube up these pieces of meat and then put them through the grinder. But if you love a rustic burger, you're only going to grind them once. They're going to be nice and chunky, but there's a chance it might fall apart on you. Then if you don't care about that, then chunky is what I recommend. See how in the second grind the meat becomes lighter than in the first grind? Because in the first grind the meat has its original color, but the second grind you're really mixing up the fat and the meat, and that will make the burger a little bit more spread out, even and juicy, but you're also grinding down on structure, so it's going to make it less rustic. I've got a machine to make burger patties with, but I'll skip that and we'll do it by hand to show you how to make this at home. Now, of course you can weigh your burgers, but I think there's a more important part than weighing your burger patties. Because the most important part of shaping a patty is shaping it to fit the actual bun of the burger. Now you want to make it a little bigger than the bun itself, so when you start grilling and the meat shrinks up, it still fits to the bun. At this moment they don't have to be firm and strong, but they do when they hit the grill. So I'm going to shape them the way I like at the moment. I'm going to put this in my fridge to firm up. I'll be cooking these burgers on the Napoleon grill. Now, I've got my plancha set on top, and that means we're going to get a nice even heat. Once the plancha's nice and hot, I'm going to dial it down a little bit, and then I'll be grilling my burgers. So you want to give this about 10 minutes or so, and then dial in the temperatures, so you got it set to absolute perfection. While preheating, I'm also be toasting the buns, getting them nice and golden brown. Personally, I like a dry, crispy bun. And if you add oil to make it nice and golden brown, of course it looks really good, but it also gets more soggy. And I expect the burgers to give off loads and loads of juices together with that sauce. So I don't think I'm going to need to make my bun even soggier. A light toast, that will be more than enough. Look at that. I'm going to season the plancha with a little bit of olive oil, but you can use any type of oil that you prefer. I just want to make sure I got it well seasoned and have it to be absolutely non-stick. All right, time to put the burger patty on. We're going to put on 2 of these beauties. Look at that. See how easy the paper makes it to handle it. Place it on, tear it off, and that's how you make perfect patties. I'm going to wait for this side to brown up. And once I got a good look, I'm going to flip it. Most of the time I choose to flip once I see the juices of the meat come up to the surface. This is where you see the juices popping up. Time to flip. Now it's time to season the burgers with a little bit of salt. If you like, a little bit of fresh ground pepper. And then comes something specific to the In-N-Out burger. They fold the cheese about a quarter way through and then place it on. And they do the fold pointing down. And what that does is kind of make the burger smile when you build it up. On top of one of the patty goes the onion, and on top of the other patty goes the bun. Put on a little bit of that beautiful spread that we created. And on top of that bun goes a slice of tomato. Now it's time to take the burgers off and build up that patty. A little bit of iceberg lettuce. Look at that. Then on comes the first smile, and then the second smile. And there you have it, the In-N-Out double at home. It looks like the real deal, even like their picture on the website. And that all right in your backyard, isn't that cool? I just love making burgers. In the meantime, I'm gonna make a couple more of these delicious burgers. Look at that. And the cool thing is they're not over juicy, it's not dripping juices, it's just real nice burgers. But what do they taste like? That tastes freaking amazing. What really stands out is the combination of the sauce and the tomato. So don't leave out the tomato. It's like they're working together to make this a really good burger. Ha.